Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be doing my Season 9 weapons tier list for Battle Royale. In my last video I did my Season 9 Legends tier list for Battle Royale, go check it out if you haven't already. And yeah, let's hop right into it. Alright, so we're starting off with the 30-30 repeater. I'm going to put the 30-30, just the base 30-30 in D tier. It's not a great gun. It's basically just a worse version of the G7. Not a great addition to the game. I mean, it's alright. It's better with the shatter caps now. You can basically turn it into kind of like a mini shotgun, although I don't tend to pick up any 30-30 even if it's got shatter caps on. So yeah, basically there's just better options. It's not exactly the gun that you would go for. So yeah, D tier for me. Right, and moving on to the 30-30 with shatter caps. In my opinion, it's still not too great. You've got so many other options, so many other shotguns. It's better than the base 30-30, but it's still not great. It's still not great. And so yeah, D tier for me. Moving on to the alternator. The alternator, in my opinion, is B tier. At the moment it's in a very, very strong position. It's definitely gone up in my estimation as a gun that can be used a bit later on in the game. However, I still think there's better alternatives to the gun that you probably would drop it for. But it's a balanced gun, so B tier is good level for it, and I think it should pretty much stay where it is. So yeah, that's the alternator. Okay, I don't know why we've got the Deadeye's Tempo first, but we're going on to the Bocek bow with the Deadeye's Tempo hop-up, and for me, it's an S tier. With the Deadeye's Tempo hop-up, it's an S tier. It's nice fire rate. I mean, the base gun would have been S tier had they not nerfed it recently. I don't personally use the Bocek too much. I'm actually going to move it down to A tier with Deadeye's Tempo. I don't think it's quite an S tier gun. I don't use the Bocek too much. I use it if I've got it. And yeah, it's a very strong gun. I mean, 60 damage per hit is very good. I'm glad it's not 70 anymore. And with Deadeye's Tempo, that's an even faster fire rate, so it's nice. Alright, the base Bocek, I'm going to put high B tier. Very good gun. Pretty much just a worse version of the Deadeye's Tempo. So that's why it's in B tier. It's pretty balanced at the moment. You don't really see that many people with it anymore. Not to say it's a very strong gun, but as long as you can hit your shots, it's very powerful. And with shatter caps, I'm going to put it again just above it. Shatter caps isn't exactly the best top up in the game. It doesn't really. It works because you can turn kind of like a gun into a shotgun and in this case kind of a medium range gun at the same time, as it's as you can turn it off and on, which definitely helps. When I originally heard about it, I thought in like some leaks and things, I thought that it was going to be you wouldn't be able to turn it off, it would just be like permanently on, and that would have made it a lot worse. I don't personally enjoy shatter caps, but it kind of just makes it a tiny bit more versatile, so I'll put it in B tier, just above the base gun. Alright then, charged rifle. Charged rifle I'm going to put below the alternator, because it's hit scan. But yeah, I don't tend to use it too much. I always pick it up for a different sniper, like a sentinel. But yeah, it's a decent sniper. I don't tend to run snipers that much, but yeah, if you do, it's pretty balanced. It's nice that it's hit scan, and it's nice that you can basically just follow the target with your aim, and it will deal a decent amount of damage. So yeah, that's nice. Alright then. Devotion without turbocharger. I'm going to put the Devotion without turbocharger in C tier. Not because it's not a powerful gun, but because it is hard to use. And it takes a bit of getting used to. Obviously it's got that charge up time, and the first few shots are a bit like slow. So without a turbocharger it's pretty bad. It kind of needs a turbocharger to work. Alright, moving on to the Devotion with a turbocharger. I'm going to put it just above the Alternator. Yeah, it's a good gun with a turbocharger. Obviously the recoil, you need to get used to that because that's quite high. With a turbocharger you get those shots out really quickly, which is nice. And it has a very high time to kill, lots of damage. The only reason why it's not in A tier is because personally I don't use it too much. I will probably drop it for anything that I feel more comfortable with. It's a very good gun in most situations, but to be honest I prefer the Havoc, as you'll see in a minute. Alright, the EVA 8. The EVA 8 I'm going to put high A tier. I know it's the meta gun at the moment, it's a very good high tier gun for a lot of people. I personally, I know this is not going against the meta, but I personally prefer the Peacekeeper. Now that it's back on the floor, I mean, it's nice with it's got a higher fire rate. It's probably better than the Peacekeeper, but I just prefer using the Peacekeeper, which is why it's in A tier. But again, very strong gun, very high fire rate, with a purple bolt. It's amazing. But yeah, all around a very, very good gun. Okay, moving on to Flatline with Anvil Receiver. I think I'll do base Flatline first. Base Flatline, I put in A tier. Very good gun. Amazing in most situations. Actually, pretty much every situation, it's a very good gun. And with its hop-up of Anvil Receiver, it's S tier. Yeah, no, Anvil Receiver just... it's great. It turns it into a kind of it turns it into kind of a gun like the G7 or the 3030, but you still have that capability of the full auto mode that shreds, and it's an amazing gun. It just is. It's fantastic. Alright, with that we're moving on to the G7. The G7 I'm going to put in B tier, just below the Bocek, just because I think it's just a worse version of the Bocek. It's a marksman, obviously, so it's gonna be in the same realm as the Boceks and the 3030s and things like that. However, I prefer using the Bocek. It's quieter. With Deadeyes it has a faster fire rate, I think. And all around I feel more comfortable with the Bocek, so that's why I'm putting it just below the Bocek. Alright, Havoc. Base Havoc I'm going to put below the Bocek again, but above the 3030. Very good gun, very good gun to use off drop as well. I prefer it. I know it's weird putting it above the Devotion with turbocharger. Actually, that is weird. Why have I done that? I'm gonna put it below the Devo with a turbocharger. Yeah, no, very good gun. I enjoy using it a lot more than Devotion, just because I feel more comfortable with it and I pick it up more. I'll drop a Devotion for a Havoc anytime. So yeah, that's the Havoc. And then with turbocharger, I'm gonna put it above the Bocek. A very, very strong gun. It needs the turbocharger a bit less than the Devotion does, but it's still nice to have the turbocharger with it. I prefer it to the Bocek. I'll probably drop a Bocek for a Havoc. so that's why it's there. Alright, and the Hemlock. Alright, I'm going to put the Hemlock above the Eva 8. The Hemlock, I can't remember where I put it in my last tier list, but it's probably gone up in my estimation. At least I feel like it has. Very good, strong gun off drop. I tend to drop it for other guns to start further on into the game. However, it's a good off-drop gun, very powerful late game as well. Burst is nice. So yeah, just all around a very good gun. I probably should have said this at the start, but obviously you can class all the care package weapons as S tier in that order. So Kribber's Best, then Prowler, then Triple Take. So yeah, obviously all care package weapons are S tier. Alright, L-Star. You know what, L-Star's actually, I'm going to put it just below the Alternator. Definitely gone up in my estimation this season. Last season I put it pretty low, and I know that it hasn't had any changes. However, I have been using it in arenas, and I think I've gotten better with it, which is why I've carried that over to BR. And obviously, it's a very good gun off drop. It shreds pretty much. It's got a pretty high time to kill, and yeah, it's really good. I enjoy using it, and it's a good early to mid game gun. Although you would want to drop it for something else late game. But yeah, no, good gun. Alright, moving on to the longbow. The longbow I'm going to put in C tier, low C tier. Just because, well, it's the worst sniper in the game at the moment. I mean, obviously, I'd pick up a G7 over the longbow. And yeah, it's just all around. It's nice that it has that high fire rate. That's nice that you can shoot it faster than, say, the Sentinel. And yeah, sure, it's a decent gun. You can carry it if you want to. But now that Skull Piercer's gone, it's very bad. It's probably gone up a few tiers. I can't remember from my last tier list, but it is still a bad gun. It's just, I think, all around, me using each gun a bit more this season has changed my opinion on a few of them. But yeah, no, the longbow is still a bad sniper, a worst sniper in the game. But yeah. Alright, the Mastiff. The Mastiff I'm going to put... I'm going to put B tier. Yeah, it's a fine gun now, but it is outclassed by pretty much every other shotgun, aside from the Mozambique. But yeah, aside from the Mozambique, it is, in my opinion, the worst shotgun in the game. It's all right. Like, you can run it and be fine, but the other two definitely work a lot better than the Mastiff. Alright, and then the Mozambique. The Mozambique is going to be in D tier. That's like a tier or two up from my last tier list. And yeah, no, the Mozambique, it's gone up in my opinion. For the sole reason that it just, I think everyone's kind of realised that, yeah, it's actually alright. Early game anyway, it's definitely not good late game or mid game, but early game, yeah, it's alright, you can run it. Obviously you're going to drop it for pretty much any other gun as soon as you can, but to start off with, it's alright. I mean, yeah, it's alright. Alright then, moving on. P2020, E tier. Worst gun in the game, worse than the Mozambique. It's just a bad gun, and now that they've reduced that fire rate, it's the worst gun. I know they buffed the damage a tiny bit, but still, without with that slowed fire rate, it's a bad gun. So yeah, that's the P2020. That's all I really have to say about it. You're gonna drop it for anything as soon as you can. In fact, you might not even pick it up if you see it on the ground when you drop. You might just leave it and go and search for another gun. Alright then, Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper I'm going to put in S tier. My favourite shotgun by far. The EVA 8 is my second favourite, obviously, but I prefer using the Peacekeeper. It's come out of the care package, and yeah, I just enjoy using it, and it's a good gun. I know loads of people prefer the EVA 8, but in my opinion, the Peacekeeper is better. Alright then, moving on. We have the R301. Now then, the R301, in my opinion, the best gun in the game aside from care package weapons. It's phenomenal. I've been using it a lot. It's amazing, so easy to use, so much damage, and close range it's amazing, mid range it's amazing, long range it's alright, especially with an anvil receiver. And yeah, it just shreds. It's amazing. I enjoy using it. It's easy to use. It's rewarding to use, and all around it's just an amazing gun. So yeah, that's why it's top of the tier list, aside from care package weapons, obviously. Although, yeah. Alright then, the R99. The R99 I'm going to put above the Peacekeeper in A tier. Not A tier, S tier. Yeah, really, really good SMG. It's shreds, it's great. Paired with the R301, it's so to form an R400. It's a great duo setup. And yeah, I run it fairly often. It's great, and yeah, it's just an all-around good SMG. Alright then, the R45? RE45, that's it. Sorry, I don't use it too much, this is why I can't remember the name. C tier. Low C tier. Yeah, it's alright off drop, but you're gonna drop it for pretty much everything else. It's decent, and yeah, just all around pretty bad gun. Although I still would use it over the 30-30, just because I prefer rapid fire guns. So yeah, that's that. Alright then, the Sentinel. Let's go base Sentinel first. I'm gonna put it there. Yeah, no, it's a good gun, and with Deadeye's tempo, it's amazing, which is why I'm going to put the Deadeye's tempo one in A tier. Yeah, it's a good gun. 70 damage per hit, I think. I can't remember, but it high damage potential, and with Deadeye's tempo, you get that faster fire rate. Best sniper in the game, apart from the Kraber by far. And yeah, just all around a very good gun. Alright then, Spitfire. Obviously Spitfire's S tier, I'm going to put it there. Easy to use like the R301, nice fast fire rate. They nerfed it a little bit, but it's still not enough. And yeah, just all around a very strong gun. Not much else to say about Spitfire, to be honest. The Volt. Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to put it below the R99. I used to prefer the Volt over the R99 by far, but to be honest, the R99's kind of gone up in my estimation recently. I've been using it a lot more, and yeah, it's just a very good gun. That's a lot of S tier weapons, I know, but you know, a few guns need to be nerfed. You know, I'm going to move the Peacekeeper down, and I'm going to move the Vault down a tier, just to, because I don't think they're that bad, to be honest. I don't know, the Flatline, I think the Flatline doesn't deserve to be an S tier either. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to put everything else. I know the Flatline, loads of opinions, it's better than the R301, but in my opinion, it's not. I don't know why, it's just not as good in my opinion. Okay, and then the Wingman, I'm going to put in good old A tier. And yeah, it's all around a very, very good gun, especially if you can hit your shots. I've been running the good old Wingman Peacekeeper combo a little bit in the past few weeks, and it's served me well. So yeah, it's a very good gun. And that concludes my Season 9 weapons tier list for Battle Royale. Let me know if you change anything in the comments. Of course, I think a lot of you probably would. But just know, this is all my opinion. Of course, it's not given fact. So if you change anything, that's fine. I know most of you probably would. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya!